Alrighty, we are here in our Camaro going for a virtual test drive. And look at that virtual dash, funny enough. This car is the coolest color I think I've seen on a Camaro. Got the car here in sport mode. It's gonna drive a little bit more aggressively, sound a little angrier. Car drives really smooth. I'm a huge fan of the way that this car actually steers. There's something about the way it just feels so planted. The steering's not too heavy, but not too loose to the point where you don't feel like you're controlling anything. You can see here as we get on the gas a little bit, it's very, very reactive. Interior-wise, it shows exactly how many miles are on the car. 6,000 miles, everything looks brand new. No stains or tears. From what I remember, just this minor little mark right here from getting in and out. You can see over here, we can change the mode around. Let's try out track, why not? Maybe even put it over here into manual mode and use these paddles now. We got a green light. Time to really hear this thing purr. I'm gonna roll the windows down for a quick second so we can kind of hear it. Sounds amazing. You can hear all those pops. That is awesome. Such a cool car. Now, having driven a lot of Challengers, Chargers, and Mustangs, I've got to say the Camaro is a personal favorite of mine. Give it a little tunnel pull there. Gotta love that burble. Now, the reason the Camaro has become one of my favorites is because it's, in my mind, one of the only muscle cars that is still oriented for the track and the driver. Although it's a bigger car, it's not a boat. And it still feels agile, it feels proper size. This cockpit with these shorter windows and this windscreen, it gives it a really cool vibe in here. Almost feels like you're rolling in like a Batmobile or something like that. Car is incredibly smooth as we approach 70 here. Steering feels very put. You can see it's very agile. It really wants to go wherever you're putting the nose. And as we approach this upcoming corner, we might be able to see just how planted this car can really get. It feels very tight. It wants to just hug the apex. Give it a downshift. Here's some burbles. Transmission actually feels really sharp for a domestic vehicle. The paddles feel really reactive as well. All of your controls are very driver oriented, easy to see. You got Chevy's updated infotainment system over here. Climate control right there, easy to see, easy to get to, especially on those colder, hot days. Steering wheel, I love this Alcantara on it. It feels so smooth. Now, it must be our lucky day because we are in a V8 right now, and this is now the second tunnel that we're going to approach. So let's give it a little bit of gas, why don't we? Wow. The other thing I really love about this is the second you hit the gas, you can hear that air intake really pulling in that air. Right there. I love it. Too cool, man. Now, how about I stop talking and we just listen to this thing purr? Get going quick. Ignore those numbers right there. They're in kilometers, I promise. This is one of my favorite turns in our typical test drive, and you can really see how quick this car gets down. No body roll. The car feels incredibly planted, incredibly smooth, and it feels like it's actually got a lot more to give in those corners, but given that I'm driving with one hand, I don't think that's the smartest idea. Now, what I'm going to do now is actually pop it out of manual mode. We're gonna see how the car shifts just by itself when it's in track mode. You can tell that it still drives without too much aggression when you're in auto, but also if you put your foot down, it knows exactly what you're trying to do. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the car back into tour mode, which is similar to comfort. And we're gonna take a little loop here. You see the car still drives smooth. But it's a Camaro. It's an SS, so of course you're still going to hear that exhaust a little bit. Just to remind you what you're driving, right? Smooth shifts though.